Hey everybody, I'm making this vlog as a response to Michael Birch's launch of his newest social network that I've joined called Bluebell. And I read his Substack on the philosophy that led him to create it. And it's that he says that the people who matter most to him are his friends. And then he said, friends of friends can also matter. But I haven't talked to Michael in quite some time since we connected on the subject of his building the Oakland version of the Battery SF. And we had a disagreement regarding his dislike of my use of the word that his project was shelved as opposed to paused. So I made a video reflecting his request to have the word or described as paused. But the reason why I point to that is because of the experience of what I consider to be an unpleasant encounter with someone that I didn't expect would respond that way. But it gets to my larger point. Since he and I talked, I've built my websites with the idea of representing places that I was used to covering, like San Diego Comic-Con. And San Diego Comic-Con has been my mecca for a long time. What I love about it, among other things, everyone is happy. And the relationships you build with people are based on experiences. For example, Hall H. The big conversation is, well, how there are people who had wristbands to get into Hall H, and those wristbands promised a seat, but they waited for hours, in some cases waited the entire day, and never got into Hall H because there simply wasn't enough room. It's a Comic-Con problem that has lasted now for arguably several decades, and in my history going back to 2010. That's 16 years ago. And so I endeavored to build sites that feed in video, and the ultimate objective is for the video audio to be transformed into written HTML text right in the WordPress site. And searchable, not the other kind, searchable, and have this platform that allow you to see something happening, to experience it by your eyes. Because I believe that, different from Michael, we're a people that enjoy experiences. We enjoy, in fact, this is really the foundation of American culture. We always can we can always bind with each other over something we all experienced. That's why a lot of people miss what American culture is about. It doesn't matter what color you are, or sex, or political orientation, or anything. You'll always remember where you were when something happened. It doesn't matter if it's the Challenger accident from many years ago, the day the World Trade Centers 1 and 2 came down on 9/11, or more recently, the World Cup, and the many different contests that were played here in America at these wonderful stadiums. Television and digital media allowed us to have experiences that we never had before. And so I believe that social networks should be built around the ability to share experiences with others, not just the words, because it's too easy for people to interpret words differently. But if you see an experience, something that's going on, you and the other person will find words that you commonly agree on just by putting them out that share how you feel about that something that happened. It doesn't matter what it is. And so Michael gave me the final clue to what I've been trying to achieve. And it's not just something that has words. And I say that because I remember being born. I remember that experience. I remember the fear that came from that. And on what is approaching the eve of my 64th birthday, I know what my origin point is, and therefore I have a view of my entire life and experiences that have happened, some that I enjoyed, some that I did not. Experiences that the country has went through. And I believe that a powerful system online, a powerful social network, is one that allows people to share their experiences by video and have others see them. That's why Instagram is so popular. That's why YouTube works so well, but can work better. That's what, same with TikTok, even though it's used in a slightly different way. They all present experiences that lead us with our eyes, because with words you can interpret anything, and plus you don't always know that the word is coming from somebody that is really a somebody, as opposed to, say, a computer. But with something visual, there's a good chance that if you're looking at, say, the construction of the Oakland Athletics ballpark in Las Vegas, you're actually looking at the construction of the Oakland Athletics ballpark in Las Vegas, and you're going, wow, that's just where I lay, okay? That's where I sit, all right? So what I did here in this photograph was I took these different places and I combined them into one. There's Bluebell by Michael that I joined. This is a photograph I asked Google Gemini to make that expresses that San Diego Comic-Con is back. And then, of course, this is my SanDiegoComicConNews.com website, which is a constant rolling collection of YouTube videos using the power of the IFTT.com system developed by Lyndon Tibbetts. So, and I've had a relationship with them since 2012. Actually, 2010. Same with Cloudflare. Web 2.0 era. At any rate, I believe that people want to go online and see. The reason why I built my platforms is because of how life changes. I can't be there to cover them. It was never my intention when I started Zenny62 Media to go everywhere. I wanted to bring in other people who became a kind of a family because they wanted to make vlogs of where they were and report on what was going on. That's what we're vloggers. We're video bloggers. We're not bloggers in that sense. We use cameras to show people where we are, and then we talk into them just like I'm talking with you to tell you what we see and how we feel and how we interpret something that's occurring. You can agree or disagree. Fine. But visual is more powerful than verbal. Visual is far more powerful than verbal. Consider how triggered some people get over just the mere mention of race, or how inappropriate some others treat some other person because they look differently. And think about how stupid that is. Visual is more powerful. Visual is more powerful. Visual is more powerful than words. And so to have a complete and true social network, in my view, you have to give a person a reasonable ability to share the experience they're at. And that's why video has to come first, in my view, Michael, all over the words. Because it's one thing for you to write that something was wonderful. It's one thing for you to write that, oh, this is explosive. But I don't like being forced to interpret it in my brain. I want you to show me what's going on. And I want you to present to me where you're at that time, so we can all record that moment in time that these things are occurring, okay? That's vitally important to me. And therein lay the difference between, I think, how you design your social network and what I'm doing. They reflect our respective values. You value the printed word. I value the shown visual experience over the printed word. And where I want the printed word to come in is from the people in the video talking about what's going on at that experience, or me telling you what I see and then having that automatically printed out. It's a big difference. It's a giant difference. But I realized that all of this was to help me, well, cope with having to be one place and another at the same time. And therein lay the path that I have taken since you and I have talked. So look, Bluebell, I hope is fun. I'll check it out. I signed up out of respect for you, regardless of the fact that we disagree on that one thing. But so be it. Congratulations on your journey, Michael. Congratulations. And subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark Zenny62blog.com. Thank you.